I'm Alchemist 2, and I decided to do a best and worst film list of this year. And actually, I did this as a request for my ex. Uh, Let me go ahead and these are in no particular order at all, but I'm going to start with my best movies of 2011, and then I'll give you my reasons as to why I chose these after I go through them. But I began with Thor, and the reason being is because um, I really didn't know anything about the comic series, and I had always been fascinated with Norse mythology when I was a young girl. So realizing that this film was coming out, I was extremely excited, and it exceeded my expectations, and everything about it was just unbelievable. The CGI was just gorgeous. The background music was just epic in every sense of the word. And the man who played Thor, I thought he was perfect. He was what I consider the pinnacle of fitness and just a prime example of good casting. And the same can be said of the next movie on my list, Captain America. And of course, that one as well. Well, Thor gave us um, a hint at what was coming or what's going to be coming in the year 2012, and it really makes me excited. I know I have to wait until 2012 to see the Avengers, but it's going to be worth it. Of course, Captain America reveals that he would return in the next film. That's what I like about these movies, is because they're episodic. Now, the next one on the list is The Help. And The Help is one of those movies that brings up a subject that's a blight on our American history, but it is just such a beautifully done film that you cannot help but love it. And this is another example of superb casting, and I'm hoping that it gets some awards. If it doesn't, I'm going to be really upset, but if not, I'll get over it. Next movie on the list is War Horse. I love this movie. I know a lot of people say, oh, it's schmaltzy, but I think that it was perfectly done, and everything about it was just outstanding. It was one of those nostalgic movies that really made you long for the 50s and the 60s when Hollywood was going through its golden era of filmmaking. The next movie is similar to that, The Muppets, and it's got that childhood bliss and glee, and the music is the best music I have heard in a long time. I liked it so much that I got the soundtrack. Next movie on my list is The Adventures of Tintin. Now, I didn't know anything going into this film. I had been exposed a little bit to the cartoons, and this really excelled everything that I was expecting, and it almost looked real. I mean, the animation was just absolutely gorgeous. Um, as it had that old-fashioned adventure globetrotter venue, which I absolutely love. I'm a huge fan of the adventure genre, and this was a movie I live for. Hugo was a steampunk version of Secret Garden, and I just think that it was um, splendidly done. The visuals were just impressive, and as also had the nostalgia that harkened to the 20th 1920s in Paris. And I like the fact that it incorporated Georges Méliès's films, which I just adore. The next movie on this list is a little bit darker, but it's slice of life, and it's The Descendants. I really liked it, even though I've gone through losing somebody close to me, not in the way that they did, but it's it's rather difficult going through that, and everything that they portrayed is very, very accurate, and just how they embrace death and how they adjust to going through life without that person that was so near and dear to them. And of course, I think that George Clooney, he was terrific in this movie. The next one on my list is Evangelion 2.0, You Cannot Advance. I can't really say this is a movie, but it's a revamp of the original series with an extra character added in, and I really enjoyed it, and it's just as symbolic and allegorical and metaphorical as you can get, as far as animes are concerned. It's one of my favorites of all time. And I actually like the OVA better than that version, but if you want to be introduced to it, this actually has more fan service, which it doesn't really, you don't really need the fan service, but it was more amusing than in this version. Next movie in the list is comedy. It's Adam Sandler's Just Go With It, and personally, I believe that this is the funniest movie that Adam has done. Next to Jack and Jill, which is also on this list, and I know a lot of people were saying, just like, why did you pick that? And it got so many mixed reviews, but this had everything that I could possibly want in a comedy, and it also was a good love story as well. The next movie is a sci-fi thriller, and it's based on a novel by Philip K. Dick. It's called The Adjustment Bureau. Love this movie. It's very, suspenseful, and always keeps you guessing right until the end. Um, Next movie on the list is Rango, and Rango was a different kind of children's film. Falls into the new genre they're calling kidult, and I like the animation that was involved, and of course Johnny Depp, his voice acting was superior. uh, Limitless, even though I hated the ending to it, I absolutely adore, because it's a new concept, and it's the first time I've ever seen camera work that was done in this way. Lincoln Lawyer, excellent film. I thought that it was just the type of movie that was also a cautionary tale, and it taught a lesson, and it was a story of redemption. Diary of a Wimpy Kid 2, Roderick Rules. Not the best movie I've seen, but a pretty darn good kid movie, and close with the book. I know a lot of readers said, well, no, there was a little bit of the third book in there, and yeah, that's true, but I didn't really care, because I like all of the actors that were playing in the film, and it was very funny, funnier than the first one, and of course, I like Roderick quite a bit, even though he is a bit of a rebel. He's a rebel with some goodness in him. You figure this out later. Arthur. This is a remake, romantic comedy. Russell Brand, adore him, and I think they couldn't have picked a better person for this role. I'm going to start part two in a bit, so hold your horses.